I'm Debbie Godfrey. Welcome to the Positive Parenting PEP Talks podcast.
For today's pep talk, I'd like to talk about chores and allowances. And what happens for many families is that we combine the two so that a child gets an allowance and then they also have chores that they're told to do. And when they don't do their chores, we take their allowance away. Well, this can work sometimes if the child's motivated and wants money. But then after a while, it doesn't work anymore because they'll just say, forget it, I don't want the money. And then there's no way to make them do their chores. So what our philosophy is that we try to separate the two. And this is what it looks like. The allowance you can begin to provide at a very early age, 3 or 4 years old. As soon as they show any understanding of the concept of money, you can give them some bare minimal allowance. You can even start it with a quarter or a dollar. The idea behind the allowance is that it's sharing the wealth in the family. So it depends on how much money you have. There were periods of time in my life where I was really, really poor and there wasn't any wealth to go around. So maybe there wasn't any allowance and there wasn't anything to share. Then there were other times where maybe it was $10 a week because I had enough money or plenty of money. So we're sharing in the wealth. So I would give each child $10 a week. So make it make sense so that it's an amount that is age appropriate and it also makes sense for your family budget and what that is. The allowance is given to the child just for being a member of the family. So it's a kind of a physical way, a tangible way to show unconditional love. So they get a bare minimal allowance and they get it no matter what. Then each child also has to do a chore. And in my family, they had to do one family chore and then one chore, something like cleaning up their own room. So they had something that they had to do, a way they had to contribute both for themselves and to the family, and they never get paid for that. So they never get money for doing their bare minimal contribution. And again, the philosophy is that everybody's a member of this family. Everybody has to contribute to making the family run smoothly. And here's the trick. So the trick is that the two don't get mixed up. So if they don't do their chore, you don't get to use the consequence of taking away their allowance. You're going to have to figure out some other way to encourage them to do their bare minimal chore, whatever it is that you decide in your home. And they never get their allowance taken away for any reason other than if you change the amount of the allowance. So it can be tricky, but the nice thing about it is that it gives the children a sense of unconditional love. It gives them a sense of responsibility that they have to do certain things just because they have to be done. One way that I found was really helpful in encouraging them to do their chores was that I offered a lot of extra jobs where they could earn extra money above and beyond whatever their allowance was. So for example, I'd have a list of vacuuming at $2 and cleaning the kitchen at $3 and washing the coffee table at 50 cents. So there was a huge list of additional chores that they could do to make additional money. And the rule was they could not do any of those additional chores for additional money until they've done their bare minimal contribution, which again, in my home was they had to clean their own room and they had to do one family chore that they didn't get paid for. So above and beyond that, they could earn as much money as they want. And if they didn't do their chores, they never got their bare minimal allowance taken away. That, it may have been $1.50, or again, sometimes it may have been $10 or $20, just depending on what our family budget was. So I hope this has helped you. Have a great time and happy parenting today.
I hope you enjoyed today's episode of the Positive Parenting PEP Talks podcast. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Debbie Godfrey, owner and founder of positiveparenting.com. I hope you'll go and check out my website and follow me on Instagram and let me know about what you thought about today's episode. Did you learn something new? Were you able to do something different with your children? Did you have a success story? Those are my favorite to share. Let me know. Contact me. I'd love to hear from you. And also, what future topics would you be interested in hearing about on the Positive Parenting Pep Talks podcast? Thank you so much for being here and for all of your support. Take care and happy parenting.